welcome back once again to Belmont Bunch. I have the energy tonight. I was at the arena, if you were following me on Twitter. Oh my god, the New York Islanders prove everyone wrong, including me, and win the series against the Penguins 4-2, taking out the division-winning Penguins. Let's talk about the game. So it gets off to an inauspicious start. Jeff Carter pots one on a 2-on-1. It looked like the Islanders had it covered. You had Andy Green pointing Bo to cover the back post, and Andy Green was going to take the puck. Andy Green does take the puck, and Bo just gets beat by Jeff Carter to the back post, and he slides it through the 5-hole of Sorokin. So it's 1-0 only 2 minutes in, and it's the perfect road start if you're the Penguins. And the Penguins offensively played a pretty good game tonight. Really harsh fate for the Penguins. I guess we'll get to that at the end of the video. But 1-0, Jeff Carter. Now, not too much after that. The Islanders, even giving up the goal, were energized tonight. They were dumping the puck. They were chasing really well. Beauvillier skating great tonight. Islanders get their own 2-on-1. So the teams trade 2-on-1s. And Nelson finds Bo on the back post. Bo gets it to his backhand, goes top corner. 1-1. Skipping up to the power play, which came about from a bad penalty by Mayfield, which has been a problem in the past. Hadn't seen it as much recently, but it's now I was at the game, haven't watched the highlights, so everything's coming at you from like where I saw it up in the 200s. It looked to me a good hit by Malkin on Martin, I believe, and the Islanders took exception and took a bad penalty, and they paid for it. Gensel gets his first of the series. Unfortunate on the goal. Unfortunate for the whole PK unit. They got I think they got a quick clear, and then Penguins were able to enter the zone, and Penguins' power play is really good, obviously, and they get one there. It was a deflected shot. Not much Sorokin could do on this one. And yeah, this is more on just Mayfield taking a bad cross-checking penalty. So, 2-1 Penguins. This feels a lot like Game 3. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking to myself, oh no, that's one of them. Oh no, I think I said that I felt like I lucked out and avoided some PTSD, because if I had watched that game, because I was at softball, to reiterate, if I had watched that game, I would be losing my mind. And I was starting to think at this point, 2-1 in the first, like, the hockey gods are coming back for me for missing that game. But Kyle Palmieri gets one, his third of the series, first since the first game of the series. He played a lot more simple game tonight. He just threw the puck towards the net a bunch, which was a good idea because Tristan Jarry. This one is a simple play. It was just thrown at the net on the rush by Pageau, and just falls to Palmieri. Palmieri putting himself in a good position. And yeah, it goes to show when you put the puck on the net, it's as good as a cross-crease pass sometimes. Just a little less direct. So, at that point, 2-2. First period ends, and man, you're like, all right, settle it down a little bit, Islanders, but how are you going to settle it down with that crowd? It was electric tonight. It was one of my favorite games I've ever been to. It's the first time I've ever seen a handshake line. Yeah, very cool. So, second period, Penguins get another quick one. So the Islanders are going to have to clean this up ahead of the Boston series. Jason Zucker gets a tip in front. It's another one where it's like not really on Sorokin. Some defensive, got to be a little bit stronger in front of your net. And yeah, Jason Zucker gets a tip in really early into the first 2 minutes. And again, you're like, man, this is back and forth. We haven't had a lead yet, too. That would be cool. And it's like the Islanders hurt us because a little after that, 3-on-2 for the Islanders coming into the zone. The best line tonight was the B line. The Bailey, Brock, Beauvillier. And Bo takes away the middle, or, drives down the middle, creating some space behind him for an amazing pass by Josh Bailey. Right on the tape of Brock Nelson. One-timer, top corner, 3-3. And surely the arena can't get louder than it is right now. 13 seconds later, Ryan Pulock scores. I believe there was an icing. The Islanders got a face-off in the offensive zone, and I believe it was Pajot got kicked out of the face-off. Ironic, because Travis Zajac, who did a really good job tonight fitting in for the injured Oliver Wahlstrom, wins a face-off, gets it back to Pulock along the boards. Pulock, one-time blast. 13 seconds later, it's 4-3 Islanders. First lead of the game. I spaced that weird. Anyway, 4-3 Islanders. All right. Let's figure something out. Let's hunker down a little bit. Just a few minutes later, Brock Nelson scores again. And Tristan Jarry just not doing enough to get eyes on the puck. Not locked in terms of, like, owning his crease. Not locked in terms of puck tracking, mostly, is the number one thing there. A little bit of a screen, I believe, on each of those last two goals that I talked about. And, it's so easy to say that it was all on Jarry. It's so easy to say that. And yes, Jarry was not good this series. And if he plays a little bit better, Penguins probably win the series. But like I said, there was a 2-on-1. There was... is that the only one I could justify? The other ones, Pulock's got a ripper of a shot, and it's coming through traffic, so that's a little bit tough. The Palmieri one, the rebound's a little bit tough, but the rebound's definitely tough. But the Penguins need to win that net front battle, and I can't excuse the last Nelson one. That just squeaks through. There might have been a little bit of a screen from Bo, but, I mean, in the playoffs, you got to come up with those. Sorokin wasn't locked in tonight. Not early on. He had a little bit of trouble. The Penguins, early in the second, did a good job of getting traffic in front. That's what led to the goal. And the Islanders, Sorokin, as the game went on, got more comfortable, got more in the game. I'm sure the chants that he used to get from Russia were helpful. I'm sure they were. That's all it was. Let's take credit for it. And then in the third period, the Islanders just play Islander hockey, which is dump and chase. It's the boring part that everybody talks about when they talk about the Islanders are boring. This was that. Third period, they're just trying to, play out the clock. And they're able to. I did say to the guy next to me, bold strategy to park the bus for 20 minutes. They get help at the very end of the period on a double minor high sticking. The refereeing, as usual, wasn't great. There was a phantom elbow call on Ryan Pulock where it doesn't look like he got the elbow into Gensel's face. The Mayfield one was fine. There was a couple of bad icing calls where the player was right on top of the puck and definitely could have gotten it. And the refs were... So, they were bad both ways. It's not me saying that it affected one team or the other. It's just frustrating, Anyway... Screw that. Who cares about that? Islanders won the series. The Penguins, it's a harsh fate for a team that I thought was buzzing in the offensive zone. All right, we had a little technical difficulty there. For the Penguins, a harsh fate, like I was saying. I thought they played really good offensively, really well offensively in this game. They had a lot of zone time. The Islanders had some big shot blocks. But for the Penguins, I'm interested to hear from Penguins fans what they think the fix is. Obviously, in net, Jarry's kind of looking like a backup. It's tough to say. He had a pretty good regular season, and he was an all-star the year prior. Do you just chalk it up to he had a bad one and you give him another shot next year? Casey DeSmith looked really good at points this year, but do you upgrade the backup goaltending position to make it more competitive for Jarry? Or is DeSmith going to take the crease? Either way, Islanders' perspective, they scored a lot more goals than I thought they would. I really underestimated their depth. The first line is really struggling. Barzy Looks really rough right now. Happy birthday, Barzy, I guess, sorry. But again, I really think it's a sacrificial lamb to draw the other team's better defensive pairings so that it creates the middle six offense that we're seeing. So sacrificial lamb, sorry, Barzy. Even though Leo in this game had some good forechecking and some good puck retrieval at points, at this point, it's a little bit hard to put it on Leo, the first line struggles. Barzy looks a little bit off, but I don't know. I don't think they can mix up the lines because they're scoring, so they'll just have to go as they are. Zajac filled in admirably tonight. I think he's earned himself another go if Wahlstrom is still hurt. And yeah, very excited. Electric crowd. Probably my last game at the Coliseum. Really memorable to go out on the first time I've ever seen them clinch a series. First elimination game that I've ever been to, I believe. Yeah. So anyway. Whoo! Let's go Islanders! We're going to Jogs! At Islander guys. At Isles guys. Alright, that's the video. We'll see you next time on Belmont Bunch.